Hey everybody, we are live today with my favorite person in the world, my sister. How you doing, Pam?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, good.
Good.
All right, so we're gonna talk about she has 24 years of sobriety, is that right?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, we're gonna hit the intro and then we will chat with my sister. All right, we are back and we got 2 viewers, which is awesome. Good morning, everyone. So we're live with my favorite person, my sister Pam. So just tell us a couple things about yourself that people wouldn't actually probably know.
Yeah, that's funny because I wrote it down yesterday and then I looked at it this morning and I went, "Oh, I forgot to write down 3 things." So one thing that maybe, well, people probably know that I'm a bit of a procrastinator. um, I like to draw. I don't draw as much as I used to, but I like to draw, and I've done a few things for the front yard for Christmas.
Cool.
That's one thing. I have grandchildren already.
Mm-hmm.
Three biological grandchildren and one not biological grandchild. And they'll be 49 next week.
Nice.
So, I mean, not everybody knows that. They do now. Um, what else? I can play guitar. I haven't played guitar in a long time, but I can
Mm-hmm.
play guitar.
Cool.
A few chords anyway.
What's your favorite guitar song to play, or was?
I used to be able to play Country Roads, I think. Take Me Home. Or no, Leaving on a Jet Plane by John
Oh,
Denver.
John Denver. Yeah, mom liked that song.
Yes.
My mother likes John Denver.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. Well, yeah, I think I knew most of those things, hopefully. Cool.
If you didn't know I was a grandmother, that would have been a bit of a shock, right?
Yeah. So how long have you been alcohol free?
24 years.
Okay.
God willing, in December it'll be 25.
Nice.
So
Cool.
almost as old as my child.
Nice.
Yeah.
Why did you quit in the first place?
I quit because I was pregnant with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first time I decided that alcohol was not a good thing for me.
Yeah. Was there like I know I've talked to a lot of people and it was kind of this thing they call like a pain threshold, right? Like you hit a certain and this happens with it's something called spontaneous sobriety. It's where people get some people actually just quit and they don't have a problem with it. It's kind of a strange thing where I guess they hit this wall of like I can't do this anymore and I'm not going to. And then I mean there's a struggle, but it's that thing. Was there a pain threshold for you, or do you think?
I don't know. I think coming from a home where our dad quit drinking when I was 4, so I think because it wasn't normal to drink,
Mm-hmm.
I and I didn't like the way that I felt when I drank. Like I
Okay.
could feel it. I would have one drink and I could feel the obsession take over. Like I could
Mm-hmm.
just feel this all I can say is like obsession where I just wanted more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it got to a point where like I was afraid of, having an awful life for my kid. And
Mm-hmm.
so I decided that that was not what I wanted to do. Um, and I quit the first time when I was pregnant with my daughter. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
drink with her, although she, had half a beer at New Year's, and surprisingly enough, I was able to have that half a beer. But
Yeah.
the obsession was so strong that I wanted more, and I had to fight it. Like it
Yeah.
was, if I wasn't pregnant, I would have drank.
Yeah.
So I quit when I was pregnant, and then after I had my daughter, I did some more research,
Mm-hmm.
drank a couple of more times, and realized that the obsession, like after, it was really difficult to keep from wanting more to drink more. So that's why I thought, okay, I can't. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's something that I can't do. Biologically, I don't think that I can have a drink without it causing a lot of problems for me.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's a lot of people, especially in these groups that we're in, have that like a obsession almost with alcohol. But
Yeah.
I like to remind people too that alcohol is a poison as well, and it's addictive. So
Well,
everybody
yeah.
who's drinking now is kind of on a slippery slope to even encouraging that obsession within themselves, right? So,
Well, and it's normalized, right?
mhm.
For especially for moms to have wine o'clock, everything.
Yeah.
See, it's like, everybody's having a glass of wine and let's go have a glass of wine and let's drink wine.
Hmm.
And you know, part of me would like to be able to be a social drinker,
Hmm.
because it seems to be the norm.
Yeah.
I know that I can't.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, and I liked it. Like when I quit, I started to see it as, and someone brought this up to me too. It's an attractively packaged poison.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
It's, yeah,
either
you
way,
don't.
it's not
Yeah,
good for
you
you.
don't. Yeah, well, you don't see commercials of people, the reality of, having a couple of glasses of wine and people acting like idiots, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The actual what happens after people are drunk. I mean, I don't understand why, because I have an addiction. I don't
Hmm.
know. I don't understand how someone can just have a glass of wine, because to
Hmm.
me, it some of that stuff doesn't taste good. I mean,
Yeah.
after you've had a few drinks, you don't taste it anymore, right?
Hmm.
So I
Yeah, I
don't
think
get
that's
it.
it's another trick too that I was reading this book by Alan Carr, and it's called the Easy Way, I think. But anyways, he was talking about if alcohol, if you what you drank it for the taste, you wouldn't have to acquire a taste for it because it's a poison. And so you force yourself to drink it because it's socially acceptable and all that stuff, but it's a poison, so you have to get used to the taste, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's gross. Um, so did you have any? I know a lot of people in these groups. I'm on here all the time, and they are struggling severely with relapse. I think that's one of the biggest things I see on these groups is I've been 7 days sober, I've been 30 days sober, and all of a sudden I had a drink out of nowhere, and now and I think some of them just give up at that point because they think that is you can't do it. There's no way I can do it. Did you relapse, and do you have any advice for those people?
Yeah, so like I had mentioned earlier, like I had quit when I was pregnant with my daughter, and so she was a couple of months old when I decided to, try some research, and I had a couple of beers with Uncle Lance.
Hmm.
And that second beer was so strong, and I was thinking, it took everything I could to not drink it.
Hmm.
Because it was me thinking about my daughter and thinking about, I couldn't do this to my kid. So there was a relapse there. um but i I didn't decide to give up. It's like, okay, so I screwed up, try it again, right? And then a couple months later, so that would have happened in August, and then in December a friend of mine um, was getting married, so she had a bachelorette party, and so she had bought me a beer.
Hmm.
I wasn't going to drink it, and of course, I felt peer pressure, so of course I drank it, and I was pissed off that I drank it. And I was
Hmm.
pissed off at her because I let her get inside my head to so I
Yeah.
gave that up. And that was that. I guess that was the turning point. And I thought, okay, because when I told people that I didn't drink, if, oh, well, you don't, do you drink wine? Do you drink beer? It's
Hmm.
like, no, I don't drink. And so then it will blah, 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 right? They think that it's just that I, have a drink here and there when I say don't drink. So
Yeah.
I had to tell people I'm an alcoholic
Hmm.
and I can't drink.
Yeah.
And then they start hiding their beer and they hide everything, right? And
Yeah.
it's like, no, I'm not going to drink all your stuff. I just want you to stop asking me if I want to drink, because I can't.
Yeah. I think that I think people need to understand too that social pressure comes from those people knowing that they're drinking something that's not good for them, and they're on a slippery slope too of needing for some reason they think they get some sort of a benefit from alcohol, like stress relief or anxiety relief, but it's all a lie, because what alcohol does is it gives you that euphoric feeling, and then it gives you the withdrawal symptoms. Someone in a book I was reading, it's like getting blisters on your feet just to take your shoes off, because there's why not just not get the blisters in the first place, right? So those people feel inner guilt for that, and then they want to pressure you to do it. So yeah, there was someone on commenting saying they relapsed last night. For that person, I would say just keep going. Every time we fail, we bring experience to the next try, right? So it's never
Well,
too
and
late.
yeah, and I think, to be honest, I think many people relapse before they finally get it, right?
Hmm.
Before they finally decide or whatever. You know, it's who you hang around with too.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, I've surrounded myself with people that don't drink,
Hmm.
right? And so it's been easier, easier to stay sober, right? It's
Yeah,
been easier because the temptation isn't there.
yeah.
And it's not that I don't hang out with people that don't have drinks and stuff, because I've been out with my friends at times that still drink, um, but they're not the people that I hang out with all the time, and they're also people that understand that I don't drink, and they ask me first, is this going to bother you if I have a wine or a beer or whatever?
Hmm.
And most of the time it's like, no, it's not going to bother me.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna laugh when you get drunk and act like an idiot, right? And
Yeah.
and I'm grateful it's not me, because knowing how I feel at times, I fear how I would react if I had been drinking, because I
Hmm.
know, you know, a lot of the times the things that bug you come out when you're drinking,
Hmm.
and I am not a nice person. When I'm
Yeah.
drinking, all of my resentments come out.
Hmm.
Stuff that you think that you've dealt with
Yeah.
probably will come out when you're drinking.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, and I think um like a mind shift for a lot of people too is like to because you're still seeing a benefit from alcohol, it's more of a I can't have it as opposed to I don't want it anymore. And I think I've noticed a lot of people who have long-term sobriety or they've been sober for a long time, it's a don't want anymore. And that I think that helps, because when you think you have a benefit from something, you're gonna crave it and you're gonna want it. And the alcohol cravings actually go away around 10 days physically, because the
Mhm.
alcohol comes out of your system. It's more of a mental thing after that, right? So um, yeah. So did you use the recovery program? Is that how you in the
I
beginning?
I I started, yeah, I did AA, probably because I've been around AA, Al-Anon, Alateen all of my life.
Hmm.
I started with that, but I didn't stay with that.
Okay.
Um, I think that, you know, different things work for different people.
Yeah.
Um, I think that, I started with that, and I know that it's a good place to go if you need support.
Hmm.
But I think that sometimes people get stuck and they don't think about growing. I think a lot of the times I find people in those doors that aren't growing. Some people grow, but some people stay there,
Hmm.
right? Stay in that place, and they switch their addiction or whatever from alcohol to something else,
Yeah.
right?
Coffee.
Yeah, or other things, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I know that it's there if I need it. Um, but like I said, I surround myself with people that have like minds, as like has a like mind like mine or whatever,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. Um, so then, I'm not tempted. I'm not, and I have to take it a day at a time. Like, I mean, today I'm sober.
Hmm.
Anything could happen to throw off my sobriety,
Hmm.
right? Like, I've seen many people that have had 11 years in that fall off and start drinking again and
Hmm.
end up in a worse place than they were when they stopped the first time. So, it's being cognizant of the fact that anybody can fail. and it's a work in progress, taking it a day at a time. So, you fall down today, well, you pick up your bootstraps and, try again.
Yeah. I think, yeah. And, I think people almost put too much emphasis on, um, like, I had 27 days sober. Now I had a beer and now I have to go back to day one. It's like, okay, well, I've seen some people in these groups. Okay, I had 27 days. It's 27 and one now. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go 28 and one tomorrow. You know what I mean? And it's just that kind of mind shift where, because once you think like, oh, I failed, I might as well just give up and do, um, might as well just go on a bender now, right? So, I think just take it one day at a time for me personally, and that's all you can do. Um, so someone has a question for you, Pam. It says, after 24 years, do you ever think about drinking? Meaning, is the obsession still there?
Sometimes. So I wasn't a person that drank because I had problems, right? Like, I
Hmm.
mean, some people have a crappy day or whatever, so they drink or whatever, or, they got problems. Well, growing up in like AA Al-Anon on Alateen, I was always taught that, drinking's not going to solve your problems. It's going to make problems worse.
Yeah.
So I never drank when I was having issues, like, having a bad day or whatever. The only time that I find that it kind of, um, where I think about it is when I'm having a good time, right? Like
Okay.
if you're out with friends, like say you're at a barbecue and they're having a few drinks and they're having a good time, that's when the thoughts kind of go in and I think, I wonder, and I'm like, no, 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 you can't even go there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Exactly.
so yeah, those thoughts are still there.
Hmm.
But I have to keep myself in check and I have to think about that, right? I have to bring myself back
Hmm.
and I have to play a tape, I guess, in my mind at going, okay, so what would happen if I had a few drinks?
Yeah.
And play that out and go,
Yeah.
okay, these are the things that could happen. Okay, do I want that to happen? No.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the thoughts are still there. They never go away.
Hmm.
They're not as frequent, I guess. But yeah, if we're having a good time and people are having a few drinks, yeah, the thoughts do happen.
Hmm. So it's more of an environmental trigger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in AA they talk about people, places, and things,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've been doing some research just on the brain and the neural pathways and stuff. So every time people take a drink, it actually produces neural pathways in your brain. And if you're solving a problem or if you're having fun at that time, whatever environment that you're drinking in, it gets attached to that thing. So it can be an environment, or it can be a stressor, or it can be, a lot of people on these groups are anxious, so they're trying to get rid of their anxiety or those kinds of
Mm.
things.
Yeah.
So it helps them to even change their environment if um, or do something drastically different. Like some people say, if you are in a room that you would usually drink and go to another room,
Yeah.
just to change that environment and hopefully not drink. Because so would you say that you kind of analyze the risk to the reward if you have some kind of a craving like that once in a while?
Yeah. Yeah. I would
Okay.
say yeah. Yeah. I play that out and go, okay, what are the risks? Like what could happen if
Okay.
if I were to do it? And I enjoy my family, and I
Hmm.
think that if I were to drink, that all the things that have ever bothered me would probably come through. Like I don't think a lot of things bother me today, but when you get drinking, I know
Hmm.
with me when I got drinking, a lot of things started to pop up that
Hmm.
I didn't think I had an issue with, but as when you're drinking, apparently you do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of things get trapped in there because we have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. So a lot of those things are trapped in there, and alcohol just gives you, because it stops your inhibitions, right? So it gives your brain time to process those things, and you're less worried about what people are going to think or say about, what if I say this or that. So you just kind of let everything out. And
And then the next morning you're like, oh my gosh, I said that. I can't believe I said that. And usually when I was drinking, it's like, why do I think this is such a bad idea? No, this isn't a bad idea. And and then the next morning going, why did I think that was such a great idea? That is like such a stupid idea.
Yeah, it's because there's a part in your I can't remember what it is. There's a certain part in your brain where the chemicals of alcohol stop the inhibition.
Yeah.
And it also the euphoric feeling doesn't last. It actually brings strong stress and anxiety. So you have stress, you're stressed out, you're anxious, and now you have no inhibitions, and you think good ideas are bad ideas, bad ideas are good ideas, and you are now all jacked up and doing dumb things. So
I would never do dumb things. Never.
yeah, I do enough dumb things sober. So
Yeah.
so do you have any like final advice that you would, if you wanted to wrap it up, and say you were talking to yourself when you stopped drinking, and say Pam came to you and you were drinking and she said, I need to stop, what would your advice be for Pam 24 years ago?
Not to be so hard on yourself, I guess. That, I think a lot of the times, even like in normal things, it's all or nothing with me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that alcohol has sugar in it, and I think that I have an addiction to sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Probably everybody has addiction to sugar, and so although I exercise every day, obviously I've been eating too much sugar, so it's and as you get older, you got to move more and eat less.
Yeah.
Um, I think I'd say, it's not all or nothing. That you're gonna make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna relapse, and not to be angry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just pick up your pick yourself up the next day and try again, and take it a day at a time. Like, don't
Mm-hmm.
worry about the future.
Yeah.
The future is gonna worry about itself.
Mm-hmm.
Worry about today, and what can I do today?
Yeah.
We all make mistakes. And find a good person that you can talk to. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I have a good mentor. I have my dad that's got 45 years in this year, and that's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't want to see Dad drinking.
I know that he's crazy. He's crazy without the drinking, so I'd hate to see him drinking. Oh man. And I've had people say, "Oh well, I don't think you have a problem." And I mean, I think they've said that about Dad too. And I'm like,
Mhm.
you know what? You don't know. Like, you don't
Mhm.
know me. Like, only you know yourself.
Yep.
Only you can make that decision.
Hmm.
Many people can think that you're an alcoholic or whatever. Only you're the only one that can decide if that's the issue.
Yeah, you're the only one that can tell if alcohol is bringing you a problem or not, too, right? I think, and I know in these groups, I see a lot of people also. They are they're really fearful of letting go of alcohol forever, um, and that's a trick because it's not benefiting them at all, really. In the
Yeah.
long run, future wise, it's not benefiting you. It might benefit you in the moment, but it's not benefiting you in the future. And they have a hard time just. They say I don't want to let it go forever. You know what I mean? So I
Well,
started
let's
this
go for
challenge.
today.
Yeah, I started this
Let's
30-day
go for
challenge where
today.
to say just try it.
Yeah.
And even if, because I'm going to educate people on alcohol and what it does to your body and those things. Even keep drinking if you want through these lives and stuff, and
Yeah.
just change your perception on it. And you know what? Once you understand that it's a poison and it's not good for you, and these things, you won't even want it anymore because what benefit is it having? Because those beliefs around alcohol are lies. You know. So.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, well, this has been a great talk with my favorite person in the world, my sister. Thank you so much for coming on, Pam. And you know what, 24 years of sobriety is super amazing. And I think sometimes we don't know how far we've come until we look back and say, you know, look back and go, wow, that was a long time ago. And there's a lot of people struggling with alcoholism and problematic drinking, and there's thousands of people on these Facebook groups. So hopefully you helped somebody today, and if you did help, she did help you, just give me a comment and I'll let her know that she helped you. So I guess I will let you go, Pam.
Alrighty.
All right, stay sober, my friends, and thank you for coming on, Pam.
Thank you.
See ya. All right, guys. So that was my sister. She has 24 years of sobriety. Hope you got something out of this live today. I know there was a few people here. If you did get anything out of this live, just give me a comment. And remember that if you fail today, it's not the end of the world. You can try again. I am one person that knows about failure. I'm a high school dropout. I spent some time living not at home on the streets a little bit when I was a teenager. I've hung out with punk rockers. I've hung out with not so good people. I drank for 19 years, and I'm now alcohol free. And every once in a while you will get that thought, hey, maybe I should drink. But the benefit of me not drinking and not having alcohol, it's not even really that I don't want alcohol anymore. It's not that it's something I can't have, it's something I don't want. So I want you guys to get to that point too. We are starting a 30-day challenge on Friday. If you go to the EF Breakthrough group, you can find it here on Facebook. If you're not part of the group, just get into it, and you will definitely be learning some things and going through that, and we'll do it together. And there are some rules to the group too, that about gratitude and meditation, all this stuff. But anyways, have yourselves a beautiful day. I'm carrying on. See you guys Friday.